What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Mortal Shell 2 launches on August the 20th, and I have been playing it early. I have now put a full run through the opening hours specifically to make this guide. So this is everything I wish somebody had told me before I started, not the marketing version, the actual list of things that will cost you if nobody warns you about them. We are going to cover the very first item you should pick up, the currencies, and which one actually does what. How blocking really works and why it decides your fights, what beacons are, and how you cleanse them, and then a full walkthrough of the hub, including the training ground that almost everybody misses. Quick note on the footage, this is a pre-launch build I got early access to, so a couple of small numbers might still shift. The systems themselves are locked in. Let us get into it. Right, the very first thing you should do, the second you get control, turn around and walk back behind where you spawned. There is an item sitting back there, and almost everybody sprints straight past it. It is called Trollweed, and the description on it is honestly a joke at your expense. It calls itself a rare plant of dubious use. Then it asks whether it does nothing, and then it quietly gives you the real answer. At 1,000 of them in your inventory, it grants total immunity from all damage sources. Now, obviously, you are not collecting 1,000 today, but they turn up everywhere once you know to look, so grab that first one and start the pile on minute 1. A little further in, you meet a figure who hands you your first shell, and that is worth understanding properly. You are the Harbinger, and you do not have a body of your own. Shells are the remains of fallen warriors that you climb inside and wear. The first one you get is called Harrows. Every shell brings its own health pool and its own signature ability to a fight, so treat them as classes rather than costumes. You are also working for something called the Undermother. Your job is recovering her stolen ova, and those come back in a big way later on. If you never touched the first mortal shell, none of that matters. This is a standalone story, and the practical version is blunt. Outside a shell, you are fragile and you hit like nothing. Now, the biggest adjustment coming from any other Souls-like, there is no stamina in this game at all. You can swing and sprint and dodge as much as you want, and nothing cuts you off. What you have instead is the yellow bar sitting above your health. That is called Resolve, and it is not a limiter. It is fuel. You spend it firing your sidearm, and using your shell ability, you earn it straight back by landing hits and by parrying. So the whole rhythm inverts. In Dark Souls, you attack carefully because attacking costs you. Here you attack constantly because attacking is what pays you, which means a full resolve bar is not safety, it is waste. Anything you earn on top of a full bar just disappears. Spend it and let the fighting fill it back up. Blocking is where this game is won. So this is the section to pay attention to. Holding guard will stop an attack, but it drains a separate pool called guard energy. Run that pool dry, and you get stunned wide open. So sitting on block permanently is just a slower way to die. What you actually want is the perfect guard. Block at the exact moment the hit lands, and you deal what the game calls break damage. Break damage fills the meter under the enemy health bar. Fill it completely, and they are left open for a riposte. That is an enormous free hit, and a perfect parry hands you resolve back on top. The timing window here is genuinely forgiving, so drill it on the small enemies early. One warning though, and it is an important one. When an enemy flashes with a red marker, that attack cannot be blocked at all. Do not stand there holding guard. Dodge it instead. Your sidearm is the most underused thing a new player owns. You hold to aim and press to fire, and every shot costs you resolve, so everybody saves it for an emergency that never actually arrives, which is exactly backwards. This thing hits absurdly hard. Ordinary enemies get blown off their feet in a single shot, and it is at its very best against the heavy brutes that shrug your sword off completely. There is a wider lesson hiding in that. Enemies here have real weak points. Small ones stagger the instant you connect, so you can interrupt a swing they have already started. The big ones will walk straight through your attack. Take the big smashers as your example. That one lobs rocks at you from range and swings heavy the moment you close in. Trading with him is a losing game, and light attacks barely mark him. So you sidestep the throws and wait, land a hit, and he goes into a tantrum, which is your window. 2 shots from the sidearm, and he is finished. That is the whole loop against heavy enemies. Bait the animation, then spend resolve rather than swinging. Every shell also carries a signature ability on a single button. Harrows petrifies the enemies standing around you, and here's the clever part. While they are stone, they take no normal damage at all, but they do take break damage. So you freeze a whole group and then riposte every single one of them. Now what happens when you take a fatal hit? You do not simply die. You get knocked clean out of your shell, and the shell is left standing where you fell. Down in the corner, you will see a percentage counting up. That is your progress toward climbing back inside it. You fill it by fighting, and one big kill fills it far faster than 5 small ones. So do not run away and hide. Go and pick the scariest thing nearby. Now, the piece of advice I would repeat more than any other: search absolutely everything. This game tucks real upgrades down side passages and behind scenery. The one you care about most is called Ventrium. Inspect a piece and it tells you it is consumed by the Tarforge to improve weaponry. That is your weapon upgrade material for everything you own, your sword and your sidearm and everything after that. Every single upgrade level costs you one of them, so there is genuinely no such thing as having too many. Every dead end you walk past without checking is a weapon level you will not have later. Slow down and look around. Out in the world, you will keep finding pale growths you can smash apart. They come in two colors, and the color is the entire point. The white and blue ones hand you Gloom. Gloom is the main currency in this game, and it is what you spend to level up. So break every single one you walk past. The orange ones do something different. Those refill your resolve, and you can watch the yellow bar climbing as you smash them. That effectively makes them free ammunition. So learn to spot an orange growth before you walk into a fight rather than after it. Let us put the collecting in one place because people mix these up constantly. Gloom levels your character. Coin buys things from vendors. They are completely separate, so do not panic when the shop refuses your Gloom. Ventrium goes to the forge for weapon upgrades. Ova get handed in at the hub, and I will show you where. Then there is the stuff that looks like pure junk. You will find things called wealth caps tucked into corners, and they turn into serious money early on when money is tightest. Same story with that troll weed, so read the description before you sell anything because the tooltip usually tells you exactly why it matters. Here is one rule that will genuinely hurt you if nobody says it out loud. When you die, your Gloom stays behind on the spot where you fell. You can walk back and collect it and no harm done. But if you die a second time before you reach it, all of it is gone permanently. Anybody who has played a Souls game knows that specific sinking feeling, so build the habit now. Die, then go straight back for it. Only carry on exploring once it is safely back in your pocket. Never push forward with a big pile of it sitting on the floor behind you. And be honest with yourself about the run back. If the thing that killed you is still standing between you and your Gloom, that is not a retrieval. That is the same fight again with everything on the line. Beacons are your bonfires, and you will build your whole run around them. Resting at one restores your health and refills your healing charges. It tops your resolve back up as well, which is easy to forget. So if a fight went badly and you are limping along on an empty bar, a beacon fixes both problems at once. It also respawns every enemy in the area, so that trade is always worth a moment of thought. From the beacon menu, you can level up and change your equipment. You can also warp straight back to Marrow Keep, which is the hub. Now here is the bit that confuses new players. You will spot items sitting near a beacon that you simply cannot pick up. There are thorns in the way, and no amount of trying will help. That is not a bug, and you're not missing a button. It is a lock, and the beacon itself is the key. To clear those thorns, you activate the beacon and then choose to cleanse it. That drops you into the area the beacon has been holding. Sometimes it is a fight, and sometimes it is a puzzle. Clear whatever is waiting in there, and the thorns outside wither away. Then you walk back out and collect the thing you could not reach before. In my run, that turned out to be another Ventrium and a wealth cap. Both of those would have been gone forever if I had just moved on. And while you are inside, treat it as a proper dungeon. There is usually a chest tucked at either the very start or the very end. There are journals scattered about that fill in the story if you care about that side of it. And there are levers that open gates you have already walked past, which is the one that catches people. You pull a lever and a gate swings open somewhere behind you, then you never go back to look. The rule that saved me most often is a simple one. Before you leave any dungeon, walk it one more time. 2 more exploration things that are very easy to miss completely. Whenever you see one of those watery openings in the ground, go into it. They are small hidden dungeons, and they are stuffed with coin and items. They are optional, and that is exactly why people skip them. The other one is maps. There are map fragments hidden around each region, and picking one up burns the fog off your map screen. Finding one early turns the whole area from guesswork into an actual plan. So if you are ever unsure what to do next, going and hunting the map down is rarely the wrong call. While we are on things people miss, there is a coin pickup out here that most players never spot. It is worth around 500 gold on its own. 500 does not sound like much later on. In your first hour, it is close to a fortune. Right, Marrow Keep, this is your hub, and there is a proper order to do things in. Start at the tower with the beacon and level up. And here is the best news in the game. for a nervous beginner. You do not allocate stats at all. There is no agonizing over strength versus dexterity and no way to ruin your character. You press level up and the game distributes everything for you, which means leveling is pure upside, so do it the moment you can afford it. For reference, my first level came in at somewhere around 1300 Gloom. One more thing about the layout before we walk it. Marrow Keep is basically a big circle. The paths out of this tower bend around and meet each other again. So if you think you have taken a wrong turn, you probably have not. Just keep going and you will come back out where you started. From that tower, the hub splits left and right, and the two paths loop into each other. Take the right-hand side first. Down that little walkway, there is a seal sitting there waiting for you. It is called the Slayer Seal, and it is a genuine upgrade over what you are carrying. It makes your sidearm deal break damage, which means your gun can now crack enemies open for ripostes. It also refunds you resolve and health whenever you land one. Plenty of people walk straight past this thing. Do not be one of them. Keep going down that hallway, and you will run into the vendor. He is who you buy from, so anything you want later, including new seals, comes through him. But the reason to talk to him right now is the quest he hands over. He points you at a new set of weapons called Daggers. He even marks the area straight onto your map for you. That gives you a real objective, plus a weapon that plays completely differently to your starting sword. The iconoclast is slow and heavy, so having something fast to switch to matters more than it sounds. Accepting the quest costs you nothing at all, so go and pick those up early. Carry on through and you reach the room holding the ova. Remember, the Undermether wants those back, and this is where you hand them over. Hold the button down and it turns in everything you are carrying. What you get back is Gloom, and you also come away with more ova than you put in. So it is a small compounding engine and it costs you absolutely nothing. Build the habit now. Every single time you pass through Marrow Keep, stop in here and turn in. You will often be carrying one without even realizing it. There's a man down here who will offer to wash your feet. As far as I can tell, that genuinely does nothing at all. Walk past him and you will find Franz. Franz is the Tarforge smith, and he is the reason you have been hoarding all that Ventrium. You hand him a weapon and he goes away and works on it for you. Once he is finished, the Tarforge itself opens up and you can enhance your weapons directly. The screen is refreshingly honest about the price. Each level costs you 1 Ventrium plus 100 coin, and it shows you exactly what you're buying, with bars for raw damage and for stagger damage. Now here's the tip I would give my past self. You will have enough to push your starting sword up a couple of levels. Do that, then stop. Do not empty the bank into it, because your sidearm can be upgraded as well, and upgrading the gun is worth far more than a 3rd level on the sword. Split the materials instead of dumping them all in one place. Now the part almost nobody finds, and it is the best thing in the whole hub. Head back and take the left-hand path instead. Down there is a training ground with a woman who will teach you the combat systems properly. She sets you drills and she pays you for finishing them. You know, the first one teaches you to guard, you block until she connects, and then you finish her off. She pays out the moment you do. After that, there is a ranged drill for your sidearm, and then a parry drill built around the infinite seal. That seal narrows your perfect guard window, but it pays out far more break damage when you actually land it. So it is a real risk and reward choice rather than a straight upgrade. 10 minutes down here will do more for your run than anything you could buy. Last one, and this is my favorite thing in the opening hours. Remember all those mushrooms you have been walking past? Grab yourself a handful of them, because out in the marsh, there is a beacon with a giant talking frog sitting near it. His name is Gorf, and he is hungry. Walk up to him, and he will straight up ask you for food. Feed him the mushrooms, and he thanks you with a pile of gold and an item called a marsh pearl. That pearl trades in for 2,000 coin. 2,000 coin at this stage of the game is an enormous amount of money. You are counting every single one at that point. And the best part is that the mushrooms were lying around free the whole time. This is the sort of thing you only find by talking to everything that will talk back. So do not walk past the frog. Bring snacks. And that is your first few hours in Mortal Shell 2 sorted out. So here's the quick recap. Grab the troll weed sitting behind your spawn point. Spend your resolve instead of hoarding it. Learn the perfect guard and let the ripostes do the work for you. Cleanse your beacons so you can reach whatever the thorns are hiding, and run the full Marrow Keep loop, especially that training ground. I am also putting together a separate video on the fastest way to level up early on. So subscribe and turn on notifications if you want that one. Now tell me down in the comments how your first hour actually went. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.